In today's video, I'm going to tell you which AI low caps I believe will make you the most money this cycle. In fact, that's the only criteria I'm going to be ranking them on. Which ones have the highest likelihood of pumping the most? If you hold AI coins or you think it's going to be a good narrative, you need to watch this video to the end. Because a lot of these coins that I see people holding are actually really terrible, so make sure you're not holding the wrong ones. Last thing before we start this video, I'm going to be very direct. I haven't got the space per project to explain the fundamentals. So I'm going to tell you in simple, clear terms whether I like something or not. First up, we've got Nasana, which falls under the GPU marketplace subcategory of AI. I studied the tokenomics and I estimated that around 1.5 million tokens could be potential sell pressure every month. Right now at $4 it's not concerning, but at $60 it will be, because that would be $90 million monthly to sustain those prices, and that's not including all the people who will be up huge, who will want to take profit. In conclusion, there's many different angles to this, but I would put this in high B tier for now, and into A tier if it went lower, provided a better entry. It's one of the better projects in this entire video, and definitely one to keep on your watch list. Next up, we've got Track, which is a really old 2018 project. It's focused on providing secure data for AI to use with their DKG tech. Regarding the tokenomics, 80% is in circulation. All the early investors have likely dumped, and it's on Coinbase. You can actually track what they're doing with the remaining 20% of the supply on Etherscan, which will be useful if you hold this. There's nothing really much to say about Track. It's overall a decent project with a nice catalyst coming up with their V8 upgrade. My intuition gave this a solid B ranking overall, but some things like the technical weakness bring it down. Next up, we've got More. More is a perfect example of a token where the fundamentals are really good, but if you buy this, you're getting wrecked because the tokenomics are terrible. And that's why I stress that if you're in any token where you don't know the exact tokenomics, you're in big trouble. Over here, they make it sound like the emission schedule isn't too bad because it takes 16 years, but look at how steep the initial emissions are. I'm not interested in standing in front of any freight trains, and neither should you with your portfolio. But nevertheless, I think this can be an interesting play at certain price points. What we need to do is look for a floor to develop with a rounded bottom, indicating that selling pressure is having little impact on the price now and that buyers are stepping in. Until then, you're catching a falling knife, which is one of the greatest sins in crypto, and that's why I'd rank this in C tier for now in the short term, but I believe it's worth keeping on your watch list. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you in clear terms what coins will be worth including in your portfolio. But next up, we've got Octop, which goes under the GPU marketplace subcategory. Straight off the bat, I believe this goes into A tier. It's a proof of work layer 1 coin, and the tokenomics are decent, with the only notable concern being a 20% dilution coming from miners till the end of the year. But there's several reasons why I'm bullish on this. The first reason being, as I mentioned, it's a close play to render. Take a look at this chart. I get FOMO just looking at it. I don't have enough time to go into all the catalysts, but I'll list them on screen now. One of the most prominent ones is the team's pivot towards marketing. This is alpha that's really high grade and hard to get access to, but knowing when a team is starting to pivot and take marketing serious is one of the easiest layups you can get. I think for your portfolio, this needs to go into your watch list. I'm not saying go ape it now. You need to wait for a really good entry, because when you get a good entry, it makes everything a lot easier in terms of holding. If you're in premium, I'll tell you when that is. But next up, we've got Sleepless AI. I think this project is quite bad, and it just goes to show you that just because something is backed by someone big, it doesn't automatically mean it's quality. Like, look at this roadmap that they have on their official documents. Also, they have this weird thing where 30% of the supply can't be sold, but they can stake it and sell the rewards. I don't like the sound of that, and that's why I'm putting it in C tier. Next up, we've got RSS3, which falls into the big data category. It's a solid overall project with some big backers like Coinbase, and this is one of the most legit projects on this list, with the only concern being a lot of the supply unlocking now is from insiders. Around 40 million tokens unlocked between now and November 2024 from team, private sale, and seed round. But the best thing about this project is it has its main net catalyst coming at the end of July. My gut feeling says this goes in B tier, and it should be in your watch list. Before I get into the next project, I need you to treat these AI low caps like meme coins. Across the Rubicon made this video during peak AI hype, where he literally says, this thing is up 14x in a week and I still think it's a good buy, and then it went down like minus 8%. And when you actually look at the project, I kid you not, within 30 seconds, I knew this was complete garbage. So many of these coins you should not be holding over an entire cycle, but rather during narrative cycles and taking profits aggressively. I should also mention at this point, I have several really high quality videos coming out. One of them being an RWA tier list. I think that's going to be a really big narrative post ETF. So subscribe now with notifications on so you don't miss the best RWA plays for this cycle. Next up, we've got PAL. I'm just going to speak my mind. Fundamentally for me, it's a very average project. The biggest strength PAL has is the legion of influences it has associated with it who will keep shilling it. But that's a double-edged sword in itself. I'm not interested in buying their 100x bags, and neither should you. I'm not even considering that 30% of the supply went to insiders. For me personally, it's a high C tier project. Nothing I'd look to hold or recommend you to buy either. I believe the outlook for these sorts of projects is underperformance going forward or just ranging for a really long time. That's if the market continues performing well. Next up, we've got NMT. Don't buy this. There's few things in crypto that scare me more than this. A giant colossal run-up in a short period of time. The main concern I have with NMT is the dilution is 60% from today till the end of the year, and also the team tokens start unlocking monthly from October. When you combine that with the crazy rally that it's already had, it's a hard pass from me. I'd put this in C tier as a coin to buy right now and put into your investment portfolio. Next, we've got Dilithium AGI, which goes into the AI agent category. It's definitely one of the more legit AI projects, but there's a few issues. It's had a fast run-up, it's corrected hard, and now it's consolidating. And then on top of that, we've got strategic sale and private sale unlocks coming through very soon now. It's more likely than not that this underperforms the market going forward, and therefore I'm not interested. But what I will say is the team seems very committed to the project because they've relocked their tokens for 12 months. I would much rather see this succeed than some of these influencer-led vaporware coins in this video. If you're in from lower, I don't see any reason to dump it if you have conviction in it. And for me, it goes in B tier. Now, this is the part of the video where I roast a couple of coins, and the reason I'm going to do that is because they're below average projects at best, which have been heavily pumped by influencers. The worst part about that is right now AI is undergoing a narrative cool-off. That means next AI season, these coins are now old with bag holders, and capital will flow to newer, higher quality coins. First up, we've got this straight up vaporware project called Palm AI. I would much rather hold XRP than this garbage. On their website over here, it says our partners, Google Cloud, Google AI, and then at the bottom, in small writing, it says this project is not affiliated with Google in any way, shape or form, which I thought was pretty funny. To me, just by what they're putting on their website, it's so obviously trash. What legit project puts an altcoin daily page show video front and center on their website? So my gut feeling told me this is a hard pass and it's garbage. I could be wrong and it might pump, but I certainly have no conviction putting any money into this, and I wouldn't promote it even if I got paid to do so. If you need more convincing, let's take a look at their documents. This is the entire extent of their documents. We've got this, we've got this, and we've got this, and then nothing else here, loads. And this was valued at $150 million recently. So can you imagine the amount of crazy pumps we'll be getting in the real alt season if this can get to $150 million? It's just crazy to think about. Anyways, next up, we've got Spectral, which looks like a cash grab to me. Couple of things to note with this one. Firstly, there's a group of ex-influencers really trying to push this hard and they're failing. Secondly, the backers make it seem legitimate, but the truth is, this was originally called Spectral Finance and the project's purpose was completely unrelated to AI. And now they've recently rebranded and pivoted to AI. Fundamentally, it's a pretty weak project. But let's be honest, this was never going to be a good long-term investment. Definitely not. If you want to try and play short-term pumps and ride the waves of influencers, that's a far better strategy. But be sure to dump on them before they dump on you. For me, it goes in C tier. Next up, we've got OXO, which I've never liked. For me, it's another average project that relies on influencers to create flows for it. If these influencers move on or find other projects to shill, which they will, you're going to find yourself stuck in a project that doesn't move for a very long time, and that's terrible in a bull market. The volume on this has always been so low for actually quite a large market cap coin. Coupled with the fact that it's technically weak, I would not hold this, and I wouldn't recommend you to hold it either in your portfolio. So for me, this is a low C tier project. In a couple of minutes, I'll tell you a coin that I really do like. But before that, we've got GPU. GPU is another example of the type of pumps you'll be constantly seeing in all season, and it just shows you how much money you'll be making. This went from $3 million to 300 million based on one narrative hype train alone. There's no denying the undoxed team behind this are some skilled marketers, and that's really the main thing you need when you're playing low caps. When I research low caps, I like to go all the way back to see the first tweets of the X account. When a project is developing for a while and it's legit, you'll see them building and tweeting on X for quite a while. In GPU's case, they don't tweet for months at a time, and within 5 to 6 tweets, they dive headfirst into marketing. On its own, that's not the worst thing in the world, but it doesn't help the fact that this team isn't doxed either. I don't want you to be trapped in vaporous things, thinking they're good long-term investments. This was a good pure left curve narrative play, but there's no way I can recommend this at $9 million. Not after it's done a 200x in 40 days and it's consolidating. It needs time to rinse a lot of these top buyers out. For me, this goes in C tier. Next up, we've got Upsc. Upsc is useful because it offers a glimpse into the future of what a lot of these Vapor AI token price actions will look like. I would say avoid this as well. I think you'd have noticed in this video by now that the AI narrative is a real minefield. And if you don't have someone like me who's going to tell you the truth, it's easy to get tricked into buying something that seems legit. A lot of these projects will reflect these partnerships with Google, or say they got accepted into the NVIDIA Inception program. If you take 5 minutes to look a bit deeper, you'll see all sorts of projects getting accepted into these sorts of things. And the programs themselves are not even a big deal or something hard or difficult to get accepted into, so don't fall for this bullshit. Also, this is not me done with the AI narrative after this video. I'm going to keep looking and searching for undervalued opportunities because I expect this narrative to make a strong comeback. So subscribe now so you don't miss future videos on this narrative. Next up, we've got AI tech. My thoughts on this are that the HPC center narrative is quite interesting, but the tokenomics scared me. In 80 days, we have team seed and advisor unlocks and around 50% dilution between now and the end of the year. I asked them what these ecosystem tokens will be used for, and they said it's going to be used to build more data centers. I don't want to provide liquidity to build data centers, and that's why for me, this goes in C tier. I should also mention at this point that there's a lot of things that I look at with these projects. I don't have enough time to discuss all of it, so you're going to have to trust my gut feeling with how I'm ranking these. And if you hold these projects and disagree, that's fine, because all of these sorts of projects are still pumping a bull market as long as the marketing and narrative is still there. But I would just not have any conviction to put serious money in these, and I'm not going to tell my people to do things that I want to do myself. Next up, we've got Based AI, which is focused on solving the privacy aspect of AI. As a project, it fundamentally stands apart from all the vaporous coins in the AI narrative, and you can tell that something real is being built here. But my concern with the Based AI token is I'd rather just simply hold Pepe coin, which is deflationary, as opposed to Based AI, which people can actually farm. I asked people in the Discord if they had to sell one, which one they'd sell first, and they said Based AI. So that tells you all you need to know about which one to pick. This deserves A tier, but it's better to look at accumulating Pepe coin to get exposure to this as opposed to Based AI itself. Keep in mind that Pepe coin is downtrending at the moment, so be patient and look for a good entry, but it's definitely been added to my watch list. Next up, we've got DEAI, which is one of the more well-packaged projects in this tier list. But there's a couple of key things to note with this. Firstly, angel round people are up around 50x, and they're getting 4 million tokens a month alongside advisors. That's a total of 8 million tokens per month, and the circulating supply is 91 million. So you're getting almost a 9% dilution every month from people heavily incentivized to dump. That is disgusting. But there is some good news. They've released a post saying they're going to be working on fixing this. But the thing is, the price had no reaction to what is actually a really bullish announcement. And to me, that is a warning sign. It's a sign of weakness. So for now, I'd say if you hold this, keep an eye on that proposal next week and see if the market reacts. If it doesn't, it might be time to get out. I'd put it in C tier because near 9% a month dilution for people who really want to sell is something you need to avoid. Lastly, before I tell you something really important, we've got Claw AI, which is another GPU marketplace. It can be considered beta to Akash and Render. It's quite similar to Octop in many regards with its fair launch, but the tokenomics aren't as good. 461 million tokens will be circulating by December 2024. That's an 84% increase. So you'd value this at a larger market cap than Octa. Nevertheless, it's a decent legit project that is in vapor. I'd put this in low B tier, but I'd prefer Octa over it. Lastly, I'd say when you're playing low caps, ask yourself two things. One, am I early? And two, will other people actually believe in this project and buy it from me 5-10x higher? The fundamentals, the reality, none of that matters. Treat it like a meme coin lottery play. The problem I see with the low cap AI game is people buy vapor late and get tricked by influencers up 30 to 50x into thinking they're holding a solid long-term investment. Do that and you'll waste a bull market. My main takeaway from this entire narrative is it solidified my belief that you don't need a lot to pump a low cap. During hype seasons, you just need to be first. One of my core focuses in Premium will be finding these low caps that have the power to compel people to believe in them and getting into them early. So if you want to join Premium before I double the prices on WAP, go to the Premium info channel in the Discord, click on support main and open a ticket by clicking on this button. I'm 100% serious about doubling the prices, it's not a bluff. And also make sure you turn on notifications because some of the videos I'm going to be uploading soon, you cannot miss. Thanks for watching.